This fuzzy sound, where is it coming from? Never mind. 45. Okay. Okay. Diagonals by 6. Okay, then after that 8 degrees is equals to 180 minus 98 minus 45 degrees, and you get 37. Angle sum of 9. Okay, then after how do we find B? You continue your solution. B will be 90 plus 37. So 127. Exterior angle of triangle. Okay, Trixie, do you have something else?
No, just draw. I drew another line. Then I drew the front.
You like to draw another line? So, okay. I think not necessary. Okay, to always draw lines. Yes. Sorry. Yes, go ahead. Okay. Now, there are many ways to go about solving this. Okay, so the solutions that are being presented here are not the only ways. In fact, when I was in my other class earlier on, okay, they gave me a different set of solutions. Okay. However, for the ones written in blue, I wouldn't encourage it because the thing is that it was going in the wrong sequence. Okay. Although not quite wrong, okay, because this question also didn't say you must find A first then find B. Okay, but usually in the exam, okay, if part A asks you to find A and then part B asks you to find B, you cannot do part B first and use that to do part A. Okay, you must do it in the sequential manner. Alright? So that is the expectation for our usual test exams. Okay? So let's move on to question 17. Okay? The problem regarding question 17 is that there is no diagram being given. Okay, so looking at question 17 over here, maybe I'll just screenshot so that I have more space. Okay, so this is the question, yeah? Now, we're given a trapezium, okay, and then you're told that AB is parallel to DC. So we'll draw a trapezium. Okay, it doesn't matter how your trapezium looks like, as long as you know that there must be one pair of parallel lines, and in this case it must be AB. Okay, and because our naming must go in a clockwise or anti-clockwise manner, since this is A, B, now here must be C, and this must be D. Okay, and they are parallel. Then the question also says that AB is equals to AD. Okay, angle BCD is 52 degrees. And angle ADC is 62 degrees. We want to calculate what is angle ABD. So if you do not have a diagram, you wouldn't have realized that angle ABD is actually this angle over here. Okay. So in order for us to solve what is angle ABD, we need to observe that there is an isosceles triangle. Okay, over here. So angle ABD is actually the base angle with angle ADB. Okay, then we can find out what is this angle first, and that will be found by taking 180 minus away 62 because they are in between parallel lines. Right, so angle BAD equals 180 minus 62. And we get 180 degrees. Interior angles, parallel lines. Okay. Then we can find out what is angle ABD by taking 180 minus away 118 divided by 2. This such that we will get, what's the answer? 31. away the smaller angle, okay, then I will be able to get what is angle CBE here. Right? So to find out what is angle ABC, again we will use our interior angles properties. So that our angle CBE and then we get an answer of 97 degrees. Okay. Questions? Okay, if not, will you pass your homework down to the front? Yeah. Why must I not do that?
How do you forget to breathe?
Okay, I updated the points because the 3 entities that were not here last week, okay, they submitted on time today. So I think they deserve that point. Right? Then today's exercise 11B as well. I'm looking at one person did not submit. Then there are absentees over there, right? So still need submit. You already submitted now. Okay. Well, then after that, because it's not here yet. Okay. So I should have 20. Alright. Okay, today my focus is that I want to finish our polygons topic.
And I'm going to move on next to you also.
I've completed them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Question 15, I don't think I've done it. Correct? Okay, then let me go through question 15. But before that, okay, unfortunately we are definitely behind time, so I need to give you a short holiday assignment. Okay, so please take these notes first. Okay. Okay, this one. It is a very simple task. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to take calculus as well? Okay. This set of notes, does everyone have a copy? This is for chapter 12. It is a fairly simple task. Okay, don't tell me you don't know what is area of rectangle, area of square, area of circle, area of triangle. I'm confident all of us know it. Correct or not? Okay, so it's just a very small recap that I need you to actually go get it done by watching and completing the SLS assignment. Okay, so complete the SLS, right, by next week. Okay, let me just look at my timetable. I'd like you to finish it by next Wednesday. Okay, so SLS, chapter 12.1 and 12.2.
Which part? Which part? Including
Okay, by Wednesday, 16th August. So it will be up on SLS by tomorrow. Okay, so you may go and get it done by tomorrow. Okay. Now, let me sort by yourself out first, Let's take a look at question practice now 15. Are you ready to start? Make it fast, please. Okay, ready? Can I have everyone's attention first? Okay, practice now 15, we are given that ABCDEF is a regular hexagon. If AB and DC are produced to meet at G, we want to calculate angle BGC. The problem in this question is that there's no diagram given to us. Okay, so first of all, if I want to draw a diagram, okay, it is supposed to be a regular hexagon. How many sides are there in a hexagon? 6. So that one we must know. Okay, so we will draw a hexagon. It doesn't matter whether it's accurate or not, so long as it is a hexagon, it will be good enough. Now, to label the vertices, meaning to say label the corners, it also doesn't matter where you start, so long as you go in a clockwise or an anti-clockwise manner. So let's say if I start here, then I go in a clockwise manner, this will be how my hexagon will be labeled. Okay. Question then says that AB and DC are produced such that they meet. So that means that I'm going to extend this line AB and also extend the line DC such that they are straight lines and then they meet at the point G. Okay. We want to calculate angle BGC. Right? So how could we go about calculating angle BGC? If you haven't noticed already, this question didn't give us any numbers. They did not. So how are we supposed to go about solving if they did not give us any numbers? I know the number of sides of the hexagon, then how?
We can find the part.
Find the which one? This angle here. Okay. So this angle over here, right? I want us to be able to recognize that this is the exterior angle of the hexagon. Because it is a straight line extended out of one side of the hexagon. So this is an exterior angle. Okay, and that will be found by the fact that for any polygon, okay, the sum of exterior angles is equals to, what's the sum of exterior angles? 360, yeah? You all look like very stunned, you know. Like last week I never teach like that. You're okay? So your sum of exterior angles is 360. Since this is a regular hexagon, I can find the exterior angle by taking 360 degrees, 360 divided by 6. Now why do I leave a blank over here? Because I want us to also agree that this angle over here is also the exterior angle, okay, of the polygon. Right? So these two angles are equal. Oh, sorry, not BCG, CBG. Like that. And that is 60 degrees. Yes, yes. I finished this question. Okay? So because both are 60 degrees, then now I can find that angle BGC will be 180 minus 60 minus 60, and that gives us 60 degrees. Okay? Questions? Question? And who? Okay, so although this question did not give us any numbers, neither did it give us any diagram, it was still possible to solve because we know sum of exterior angles 360. Okay, or you can do sum of interior angles as well. If you want to find out what is this angle, okay, we can do so by the fact that the sum of interior angles will be 6 minus 2 times 180 degrees divided by 6. Okay, that will give us angle ABC. Right, and that will be 120 degrees. Then after that, you want to find out what is angle CBG. That will be 180 minus 120 by your adjacent angles of the straight line. So if you do by interior angle, the steps will be longer. Okay. Then after that, you can continue finishing up here. Okay. Alright, shall we move on? Okay, let's look at practice now 16. Okay, I'll leave this at the side here in case anyone wants to copy still. Now, practice now 16. We are told that ABCDE is a part of an n-sided polygon, regular polygon. That means that this part over here, okay, it makes up a polygon, just that it's incomplete. Okay? And then you are also given that BPQRC is a regular pentagon and this is a square. Now, because the question mentioned that they are all regular, okay? Because this is actually a regular polygon, I know that they are of the same size. And because this pentagon over here has this side that is equal to the size of the n-sided polygon, it also means that all the other sides will be the same. Likewise, in my square, okay, all the sides are the same as well. Okay, so there's some observation that you may want to make that will be helpful when you do your calculations later on. Because when we have same size and when we can form a triangle, I will be able to get an isosceles triangle. Okay? Right, to reduce the distraction, I'm going to erase away the marking. Okay, and this is part of our polygon, a pentagon in fact. How can we find out what is angle PBC? Let me pick a person. Not very enthusiastic. This person not here today. It's called Xavier. I think that split second, Game Trixie was husband. Okay.
Flagship.
Angle PBC, right? Huh? It is an, don't tell me section again, how about that paralyzer? Okay? How about? A inch is an interior angle of a pentagon, a regular pentagon. What is the sum of interior angles of a polygon? Can you tell me what calculations are you making? I don't need the answer, but I can tell me what is the step that you take. What are the steps? What do you get 510? Okay, angle PBC 510. So how do you get 510? Okay, 5 minus 2 times 180. Then we divide by. Okay, yes. By each interior angle, not each side. And then you will get 180. Thank you. Okay. Right? So now now plus 5. Okay? Any questions on how we find angle PBC? Okay? Now, part 2. Zayden, I don't know what's so confusing about your fingernails. But I'm here. Okay. Part 2. We want to find out what is angle QCR. So QCR, there's no line. We draw a line ourselves. We're trying to find out what is this angle. Okay? Now, earlier on, we mentioned there were isosceles triangles. Okay, because they are equal sides. So I want you to be able to observe that there is an isosceles triangle like that over here. Okay? So how can we find out what is angle QCR? Okay, let me pick another person. Polly. Jushin is the last one. Yes, Jushin, can you tell me how to find angle QCR? Angle QRS. Angle QRC. Okay, and that's what the value is. 108 because it's an interior angle of the pentagon. Yes, thank you. Okay, and then we will be able to get the answer of 36 degrees. Okay. Next, find the angle BCD. BCD is this angle here. Okay. So how can we find out what is angle BCD? Okay. Call another person. Brandon. Still lost. Not realizing that she sits in front of Brandon. Now August already there. Okay, let's say go. How do we find out what is angle BCD? value? 108, okay. What is this angle here? 90. So how do we find angle BCD? Angles at the point. Thank you. Okay. So angle BCD will be 360 minus 108 minus 90 degrees. Okay. Using angles at the point, we get 162 degrees. Okay. Just now I didn't give. So what before 6? I got you see GG, oh yeah, GG. Let's see. Alright, and then next part 4. Finding out what is angle BDC. So let me just erase this. BDC is this angle here, the small one here. Okay, since we already know that this is 162, okay, how do we find out what is angle BDC? Okay, of course. Okay, 继续 I want 继续 already, yeah. Then second. How to find angle BDC? Just now you look at your fingers, did they tell you the answer? What is angle BDC? Okay, you tell me what kind of triangle BDC is. Why are they isosceles? Why is it isosceles? Which are the lines that equal? Okay, BC and CD are equal. I know that this is actually 162 already from part 3. So how do I find out what is angle BEC? Okay, thank you very much. Let me see. Okay, 180 minus 162 divided by 2 and you'll get 9 degrees. Okay, using our base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay. And then finally, to find out the value of n, that is in part 5. Yes. Oh yeah, you want to go toilet. Sorry, I forgot about it. Okay. So part 5, to find the value of n, which is the number of sides of this polygon. Okay. How do we go about finding it? Actually, you want to answer lah. Or see you want to toilet? Oh, you want to toilet? Then wait for Z. Okay. Okay. So how do we find out the value of n? Let's choose someone, final person. Z went to toilet. He knew, he counted. Let's see. Oh, I saw 6 again. I think Lucas now was okay, Lucas, can you tell me how can we find the value of n? Okay, n is the number of sides that are in this incomplete polygon. I know that this is already 162 degrees. Okay, and it is a regular polygon. What kind of angle is this called? Regarding to a polygon, is it an interior or exterior angle? Interior angle, right? Okay. So in a regular polygon, the sum of interior angles fulfill this formula. Correct? Okay. Can I make use of this formula to help me form an equation to find n? If I take this divided by what, can I get 162? Okay, maybe we don't think about division. The sum over here. Okay, everyone, I want you to listen now. You don't be just blind photocopiers, okay? And then you think that you know how to do. Alright? This one is 162 degrees. If it is n-sided, how many 162 degrees will there? That's what you think. If there are 5 sides, how many interior angles are there? If there are 4 sides, there are 4 interior angles. 5 sides, 5 interior angles. 6 sides, 6 interior angles. N sides, how many interior angles? N, right? Okay, so if I want to do by the interior angles method, the sum of interior angles will be equals to 162 times N. Okay, so that's how we can form an equation. Alright? This is if you use interior angles method. Okay? Maybe before I let you go, because how can we find exterior angles? If I know the interior angles is 162, what is the exterior angle? Exterior angles is being extended. You got interior angle over here. Exterior angle is this one. This is a straight line. 180 minus 162. Okay? So this will give us 18 degrees. Right? Have a seat first. Because I think you need to pay more focus and attention. Okay? So two methods over here. By interior angle method, by exterior angle method. Okay, let me just do the interior angle method first. Alright, in this case we expand it, we get 180n minus 360 equals to 162n. Okay, then we place all the n's onto a side. And you find that there are 20 sides. Okay, by your interior angle method. If you know that you can find the exterior angle by taking 180 minus 162, which is 18, your number of sides will simply be sum of exterior angles divided by 18, and we will get 20. Okay? Most of the time, solving by exterior angle will be faster than solving by interior angle. Okay? So you can do any of one of the methods. We don't need to do both. Yes. I expand it. Expansion, huh? Any other questions? Okay. Now I want to wrap up polygons, okay, by addressing this question that you had from SLS. Okay, because I know some of you said you're a bit confused. But at this stage, okay, we have done quite a number of questions involving sum of interior angles and sum of exterior angles already. Okay? So this question is asking, or rather this person said, it is possible for regular polygon, take note the question says regular, okay, to have an interior angle of 110 degrees. They ask whether you agree with him and explain your answer. Okay? Since I know the interior angle is 110 degrees, it's just like what we did earlier on. I had the interior angle, I can go and find the number of sides. Okay? Or else I can go and find the exterior angle and then I find the number of sides. Okay? My number of sides, what kind of numbers must they be? They must be whole numbers, but not only must they be whole numbers, they must be positive integers. Because it cannot be zero also. Right? Okay, they must be positive integers. Right? So, if my answer comes out to become a fraction, then can there be such a polygon? No, right? So it's just like our number pattern questions, okay, that we have been doing previously. Okay, if I see a fraction, I know that my number of sides in this case, which is what n stands for, okay, it cannot be a fraction, it cannot be a decimal. That's why we will then probably have to reject it. Okay, so if I go by interior angle, I will have n minus 2 times 180 equals to 110n. will be equals to 5 and 1 over 7. Alternatively, if I do by exterior angle, I will get 5 and 1 over 7 as well. Method is slightly shorter. But my conclusion will remain the same. Okay? Cannot just end off and finding the answer. You must conclude. Since the question asks whether you agree or not, you will say that I disagree. Okay, therefore we cannot have an interior angle of 110 degrees. Okay, I hope that at this juncture, after experiencing your WA3 especially, you notice that mathematics itself is not about solving question after question. Okay, you will be expected to communicate your ideas, okay, in words, and therefore you need to learn how to phrase them. Okay, which explains why I have been emphasizing that much on the way you present for number patterns question, and again I'm showing you how to solve such questions itself. Are you raise this sign up? So with this, your exercise 11B, just 2 questions.